everyone. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. And today in this class, or this session, we will be concentrating on the peak pose, the Baby Grasshopper. Now this pose is probably one of the best ways to stretch out your hips, work your arms, strengthen your arms, and stretch out your waist and your spine, everything. You can actually get so much out of this pose. It's very rarely taught. This will be one of the few videos you'll find where they actually teach this. It's for almost all levels of people who are taking the class, all different types of students, because there are modifications for it. You can start with a very, very, very basic posture, or you can work your way up to something a little bit more of a balance. And I will show you all of that. So let's get started. Let's begin by taking just a moment to sit and connect with the breath. And we'll be moving into abdominals, Ana Forrest abdominals, then moving into doing some preparatory work for the grasshopper. And then we'll do the peak pose. So I'll take you through different levels. Okay, so let's take just a pause here. Let the eyes close. Let's begin to connect with the breath, feeling into that sense of stillness as we breathe in and we breathe out. The mantra for this practice is, I will take risks. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Not a dangerous risk by learning how to do the grasshopper, the baby grasshopper. We're actually learning how to doing different things. So risks don't have to always entail danger. It's just taking a chance, trying something different. And as a teacher, I'm constantly bringing in new things so that I can teach my students different things, but also challenge me as a teacher. Let's gently open our eyes and we will move on to our backs. And once on your back, feel free to stretch. Do the long stretch. Stretch through the arms, stretch through the legs. And then hug your knees into your chest. We will be moving into, they're called Ana Forrest abdominals, to build strength in our deep abdominal muscles, the transverse abdominal muscles, and also the rectus abdominal muscles, but mainly the deep muscles. What I'm going to suggest you do, if you happen to have a block, you can use it, you don't need it, or a very thick blanket that has some substance to it. It's a little bit more rigid rather than a soft fleecy blanket. But other than that, you don't need anything. Just in case you want to give this a little bit more oomph, these abdominals. We start with our feet flat on the ground. This is where you might decide to put a block in between the legs or not. If you're new to this, I would just suggest no block. Hands behind your head, elbows angle in. Ana Forrest is a famous yogi who's been around for a long time. These are her own designed abdominal exercises. Let's take a breath in, lift our elbows. Our elbows are angled in towards each other, where you're going to lift your head and shoulders off the ground. And then holding the breath, lift your tailbone off the ground and exhale, elbows reach up a little bit higher. Keep your gaze towards your navel or the thighs. And then inhale, lower your tailbone down, stay up with your head. Just lower the shoulders a little bit. Holding the breath, lift up through the tailbone. Holding that, then exhaling, elbows lift up.
The elbows are not out to the sides. They're actually squeezing in towards one another, towards your temples, and then inhale, lower the tailbone down. Now, the next option is either just keep your legs there, or come into a 90-degree angle, or reach your legs up to the sky. A little bit more challenging, this one. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone, squeeze if you have a block, or squeeze your legs together. Lift your elbows towards the ceiling. Look towards your navel or your knees. Push through the ball mounts of those feet. Then inhale, lower your tailbone down. Come to the upper part of your shoulders. Hold the breath, lift your tailbone, squeeze the legs together. Exhale, elbows lift up, reaching towards the ceiling, and then squeezing the block, and then inhaling, lowering the tailbone down. We're going to do that one more time. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone, exhale, squeeze the block, and then elbows reach, and then inhale, lower your feet down, your head down, and take a pause here for a moment. Take the block, if you happen to have one, out between the thighs, hug your knees into your chest. And then place your feet back on the ground. I'm going to introduce 2 sets very quickly of Ana Forrest, the elbow to knee. Hands behind your head again. Elbows angle in towards to one another. Feet are flat on the ground. This time we keep our feet flat on the ground. Take a breath in. Lift your head and shoulders off the ground. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone. Same as what we just did before. But the difference is, as you exhale, knee lifts up, but keep it in line with your hip. Angle your elbows towards your left knee, but up towards the ceiling. They're not actually touching at all, but they're towards each other. And then inhale, lower the tailbone down, lower the foot down, and come back to neutral, which is where you're back to where you began. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone, okay? Exhale, pick your right knee up. You're at a 90-degree angle with your right knee, your right leg. And then elbows angle towards the right knee and lift your elbows up, keeping everything separate. There's no don't bring the knee in towards the elbow. And then inhale, lower the foot down, the tailbone, and come back down. You're going to feel the oblique muscles working. If you don't do it that way, if you bring the knee in towards the elbow, you'll lose the contraction. Let's just finish up that left side, I think. Yeah. Actually, we will stop here. Hug your knees into your chest. That's enough for right now. Give yourself a hug. Something new to practice. And then let's cross our ankles, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, let's come on and sit up nice and tall. We're going into the stretching now, getting ourselves prepared for this fun arm balance, the baby grasshopper. Take an inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, forward fold. And then take an inhale, lift your arms back up, and let the arms float next to your hips. I'm going to just spin around so you can see me. You're going to take your right foot inside your left thigh, flex that left foot. This is a little bit like the shape of what we'll be in later. Take your arms, frame your left foot, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, fold over your left leg. You can use a strap here if you'd like, or hands next to your framing, maybe even on the foot or next to your foot. Take a breath in. Push into that left leg with that right foot, and take your right knee and push it down towards the ground. Then inhale and exhale, lift back up. Slowly roll yourself up. Once you get to the top, take your shoulders, roll them back down, release them. And then just change the legs, a little shake out. Left foot inside your right thigh. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, fold over that right leg. Same on this side. See if you can get your left knee to press downward as you push your left foot into the right thigh. You should be able to feel this on the upper back, inside the hip joint of that left hip joint. Soften the shoulders, breathe in and breathe out. Then take an inhale and exhale. Slowly roll yourself up and then shake your legs out.
little shakes. And now we're going to come onto our hands and knees and start our flow part of the class. Come into your tabletop, wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips, press all the way back towards your heels. Forehead resting on the ground. Slide your arms forward, child's pose. Let's take a few breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Every time you exhale, let your body begin to relax a little bit more, calming your nervous system. Then inhaling into your tabletop, curl the toes under, sit back again towards the heels, stretching out those toes. You can either stay here or inhale, follow me, downward dog. We will begin to go through a flow here, taking a breath in. You can bend one knee, straighten the other leg, back and forth, loosening up those hip joints. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep going. Moving those hips, maybe taking the shoulders as well and swaying from side to side. Coming back to stillness, pressing the heels towards the ground. The knees can be bent here or soft. Come onto the toes, lift the heels off the ground, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, press the heels to the ground. They don't have to touch the ground. Most of us can't touch the ground with our heels. It won't. In a downward dog, inhale, lift up, and then exhale, press the heels towards the ground. This time, take an inhale, bring your left foot in towards your right foot. Inhale your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Lower your left knee down. You can always put a cushion under your left knee. We're going to move into a twist. Start to twist, which is important for this peak pose, the grasshopper, the baby grasshopper. Lift your arms up, and I want you to twist over to the right, arms out to the sides. Other option is to take your right hand on your lower back or slide it down your left leg, coming into a little bit of a back bend. Take a breath in, reach your right arm back up. Come back to center. Exhale, lower the hands to the ground. Step your left foot forward, forward fold. Inhaling halfway, sliding the hands up the shins. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. Lift, 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 lift. Exhale, hands to heart. And then immediately float forward, forward fold. Inhaling halfway. And then exhale, step your right foot back, lower your right knee down. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky in your low lunge. And then exhale, twist to the left. And you decide, left hand on your lower back maybe, or keep the arms out to the sides, or left hand behind your right leg. Breathing in and breathing out. And then take an inhale, lift your arms back up. Exhale, lower the hands to the ground, frame your left foot, step back, downward dog. So we need to work on twists for this, warm up our bodies. Also arm strength. Inhaling into your plank, knees down or up. It's often best to do the knees down first, especially for the very first one. Hinge forward until your chest is directly in front of your thumbs. Elbows squeeze in towards each other. The inner edges of your elbows are pointing forward. And then lower yourself down, chaturanga. Inhale, slide the hands a little further forward or a lot further forward. Squeeze the elbows in again. Take an inhale and lift your chest forward. Eyes of the elbows are pointing forward now, upward. Take an inhale, soften the shoulders down. Exhale, lower down, slide the hands next to the chest. Curl the toes under. Press back into an extended child's pose. Take a breath in and lift yourself back up into your downward dog. Take an inhale, bring your right foot in towards your left foot. Lift your left leg up to the sky. You can always step from all fours if you'd like. Exhale, sweep your left knee in towards your forehead and then step that left foot between your hands. Lower your right knee down. Coming into that twist, but a different kind of a twist this time. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. Twist to the left, right elbow on top of that left thigh.
And then take either the palms together or make a fist with that right hand. Lay the hand on top of that fist. This is the version I like to do. It's a little bit more intense. You can get you can increase the intensity of your twist by doing it that way. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Keep using that breath to help soften the muscles and calming the nervous system. Inhale, back to center, reach your arms back up to the sky, lower the hands to the ground. Exhale, curl your back toes under, step forward, forward fold. Inhaling halfway, pushing into your shins. Exhaling, forward fold. Let's inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. Lift, lift, lift. Hands to heart and bow forward. Forward fold. Inhaling halfway. This time exhaling, stepping your left foot back, lowering that left knee down. Inhaling, lifting your arms up to the sky. Exhaling, twisting. Left elbow on right thigh. Make a fist with that left hand or place the palms together. Right hand on top of the fist. Breathe in first. Extend the chest forward and then twist to the right. Inhaling. Warming up this spine. And you'll see why we need our spines to be warm in a moment. Inhale, lift your arms forward, up again. Exhale, lower the hands down. This time step back, downward dog, or that extended child's pose. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, plank. You can do this with the knees down or up this time. Hinge forward. I'll do it with them down. Elbows pointing forward, inner edge step elbows. Look down first and then lower yourself down. Chaturanga, squeezing the elbows in towards your sides. Inhale, slide the hands further, a little further forward. Squeeze the elbows again. Inhale, lift your, exhale, chest up. Soften the shoulders down. Squeeze those bottom cheeks, breathing in and out. And then lowering yourself down, sliding your hand next to your chest. This time, press back into your child's pose, but with your arms reaching forward, forehead on the ground. 2 breaths here. Soften down, but keep the breath moving. Keep yourself energized. Soften the shoulders, feel into the ground, feeling into the earth, and then inhaling back into your tabletop, and then coming onto your right hip. So we're going to start to play. First, extend your legs. This is the beginning in a moment. Let's do a forward bend of preparing for our, even more preparation for our grasshopper. The baby grasshopper. Take an inhale, lift back up. Sit up nice and tall. So we're going to go into a twist, which will take us seamlessly into the grasshopper. Take your right leg, cross it over your left. Just a twist for right now. Keep your left leg straight for this one, for this twist. Take your left arm, wrap it around your right knee or on the outside of that right knee. Take your right hand behind your back, and I'll show you from this angle now. First, lift up tall, and then exhale, twist. Use that exhalation always to twist. Take your right shoulder, drop it down, breathing in, and breathing out. Make sure that left hand is active. It's not just hanging, it's not just limp. You don't want your hand to be limp, you want it to be spread. And from here, I'm going to spin around again, because you're going to see what we're doing, is we're going to come over to the left side and counter twist. Counter twist is just pretty much both hands on the ground, letting yourself settle down into a comfortable, gentle twist. It's what it is, countering. Now lift back up. From this side, your right foot stays over your left. You might want to swing around so you can see me and do it with me. You decide, I don't know where you are on your mat, but what you're going to do, this is in our preparation for now for the grasshopper. You're sitting on that left hip, almost, not completely, left side of your thigh. Your right foot, bring your right foot, instead of having it, just pivot it so that the toes are pointing forward. The left leg, the outer edge of the foot is on the ground, and those toes are pointing forward as well. Hands are on the ground. Left hand is in line with your left hip, but out to the left a little bit. Don't hesitate if you need to spin that left hand a little bit to the left to give yourself a extra support. Okay, here we are. Now, before we actually begin, bring the left hand a little further forward, squeeze the elbows in, and let's do a few little chaturangas. Bend the elbows, inhale, lift, and then bend as you exhale, then inhale, lift. The elbows are soft here. Now what we're going to do is you can stay here, or the next step is take your right hand in front of your right shin, grab hold of the left foot, either underneath it or the top of it, or if you cannot, if your arm is too short, grab hold of the ankle. So I have to really be very descriptive, explain this in detail so you can get this. Lift your left leg up, lean forward as if you're doing a little bit of a chaturanga here. Now, your left leg lifts up maybe. You might not be able to get it off the ground, doesn't matter. It's just the shape that's more important. What you're working on is taking a breath in and using your exhalation and adjust that left hand and lifting your left hip off the ground, arm balance. And I'm not there we go. There I am. That's what it looks like. And you breathe, and it's great. And then you lower. It's invigorating, even if you can't lift it even off the ground at all. It's a beginning. It's fun. Place your right, we're going on to the other side, legs together, forward fold. Something about that. I think it's because you're stretching the hips out in a way that we don't usually get to that depth. Then inhale, lift back up. Now we have the other side, obviously. We have to get on the other side. Left leg over your right. Take your right arm, either wrap it around your right knee or on the outer edge. Left hand behind your back, not way back, just close enough. Maybe even as close as you can get it to your sacrum. Take a breath in first, lift up, then twist. Push through the right foot. Don't forget that those right toes are at this point lifting up. Your left foot is flat on the ground, not in that funny shape yet. Twisting has this thing about it's one of the best ways of reducing anxiety are twisting poses. If you suffer from anxiety, I'm going to spin around so you can see me on this side, and we're going to settle down into that counter twist. If you remember, hands on the ground, yeah. Just let yourself be here. Now we're in the shape we want to be in. Now you kind of know what to do. Come onto that right hip or that right side of your thigh. Take your left toes, turn them forward, and then come onto the outer edge of that right foot. There you are, ready to go. Hands are in front, but quite wide here. And then take an inhale, and let's do a few little chaturangas. Squeeze the elbows in towards each other, and then bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, and inhale, straighten. One more time. This might be where this is it. This is for you. You're not going any further. Don't hesitate to hold this. And just lean forward. Otherwise, if you want to follow me, the next step, take your left arm out
in front of your left shin. You're pushing into that left shin. You're going to grab hold of the foot, the inner edge of the foot, maybe the bottom of the foot, or if you can't reach that far, you can grab the ankle, not as easy. This side is not my better side. Lean forward, lift just the leg up. That might be where you go. That's it. Otherwise, see if you can push into that right arm and lift your right hip off the ground. I really struggle on this side, but I'm getting there. It's about one side is always a little bit better than the other. And I know I'm the teacher, but I'm still learning myself. And that's where it is. That's as far as I'm going today. And lower that foot down. And just shake out those legs. Let's fold over our legs for just a moment. Forward bend. So as you can see, not so easy, right? And I've been doing yoga for years. It's okay. I'm looking forward to practicing that until finally I can lift the other side up. So lower yourself down. Keep going. We're coming onto our backs now. As we leave the grasshopper behind and we're moving on to our Savasana, hug your knees into your chest. We are not doing any more twists, because we've done enough. You can overdo some things. I want you to straighten your legs up to the sky and just take your hands behind your legs. Wherever you want to place your legs, draw the feet towards your forehead. You can also come into a plow if you want a little bit more of an intense hamstring back stretch. Bring your feet over your head, but place your hands on your lower back. Make sure you don't look from side to side. This is a nice way to stretch out your spine after you've done the baby grasshopper and all those twists. And then lower yourself back onto the ground. Let's re-hug your knees into your chest, and then extend your left leg to the left corner of the mat, right to the right. And let yourself settle in. Nothing more to worry about. As we've twisted out tension, we've twisted out, we've stretched out our hip joints, backs, strengthened our arms. We did it all. And let yourself settle into Savasana for 2 to 5 minutes. And we also did our abdominals, didn't we, as well? And as you continue on in Savasana, I will seal the practice for today, for this session. I suppose it's today for you too, right? Whatever today is, whatever day it is. You have to laugh. It's all about fun and having, just experimenting, taking risks. Isn't that the mantra for today? Taking risks. Not necessarily the dangerous ones, but the ones that try new things. As I bring my hands in front of my heart, that's what builds confidence. Even if you need to practice more. You don't have it right away. It doesn't matter. That's not what matters. It's doing something different. Shaking things up. Thank you so much for being with me. Namaste, everyone. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane, and I'll see you soon. And don't forget, subscribe button on the right-hand side. Comment and thumbs up. That would be wonderful. See you soon.